Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK specific independent home gym tips and advice. And today I'm going to talk to you about the Easy Bar or the Easy Curl Bar, whatever you prefer to call it. It seems to me that no matter which gym I go to, whether it is somebody's home gym in their garage or something like that, or a commercial gym of any sort of stripe, it seems to me that I will always see an easy bar there, and it seems to me like it or not, it's sort of become a sort of fixture of almost everybody's home gym. And I'm just sort of, it just sort of occurred to me: do you actually need an easy bar? And particularly if you're trying to build a home gym on a budget and you're trying to think about things that you could, maybe save money on, is this an unnecessary expense? Let's sort of investigate that in today's video. So first of all, let's talk about what an easy bar is. So I'm not quite sure how it got its name. Maybe it's something to do with its shape. But you'll see that the bar itself is rather than being straight, it has some sort of bends in it. Okay, and those bends, I think, the main sort of function of those is to be ergonomic with your wrists, so that you're not putting too much strain on your wrists when you're doing curls. Okay, so if you are doing, for instance, barbell curls, if you've only got a barbell and weight plates, and that's basically your home gym, you may feel, and I certainly do feel, a little bit of discomfort and a little bit of pressure, sort of going on to particularly, just the inside of the forearm when you're doing those curls, and that's because your hands are sort of fixed in that position, rather than if you were doing like a dumbbell curl, where you can just sort of slightly maneuver your hands into a slightly different position, and it feels more comfortable. Now, the biggest drawback of an easy curl bar, I think, is usually their length, and it's very difficult to rack them. Now, you can sort of rack them if they're short. I think my one here, I managed to get that onto my sort of standard um, rack there, but you can't rack it on the inside of the bar. You're more sort of racking it on the outside, which is, I feel, a little bit precarious and not the ideal way to sort of um, rack a bar of any sort. Why that would be an issue is because otherwise you're sort of picking it up off the floor every single time, and that can be kind of annoying, and you may not really want to do that. So um, you can find ways to rack it. You can also use like a half rack or a shorter rack that can sort of be collapsed in on itself or something like that. Some of those solutions may work. I used to have a little half rack that I had in my garage, and I would use it almost exclusively for easy bar work, because I could adjust it to the right size, and that would work quite well for that. But there are solutions, and there are so many different kinds of easy bar out there that you may have different options. So let's have a look at some of the different easy bar offerings that you've got there. I'm looking at sort of the typical manufacturers, or the vendors that you would go to buy products, gym products here in the UK. Strength Shop have one here. That one is, I believe, it's like a zinc black sort of coating that they have on that one. They do have some other ones. So that is, yeah, it's a zinc coating, 6.7 kilograms, bit of a weird weight, that one. This is the MiraFit offerings here. They've got quite a few different ones, and they're all different lengths here. Some of them, you've also got like a different thickness there as well. The Axle style there one, it's got it a bit thicker, so maybe better for training your forearms there. You'll see in the photograph here, it's quite thick. It's quite a thick grip there. If building bigger forearms are important to you, that might be a good one to go for. And I think they do have also a loadable one, a rackable one, sorry. Now, this one will be longer, and that means that you'll be able to sort of rack it just before the sleeves. You'll be able to get that onto, you can see that just before the sleeves, you can get it onto the pins there, which really does make it great if you know have everything already sort of set up for a sort of like Olympic lifting. Now, you may want to go for a slightly different option, and you may want to look at something that will work with standard plates, 1-inch plates rather than 2-inch Olympic plates. And these are considerably cheaper, and you can get these from Amazon, eBay. You don't really need to get these from any particular brand. Or some sort of no name brand is probably the best for those, and you can get them a lot cheaper. So this over here is the factory weights one. Again, that's like over 50 pounds, but it is a 10 kilogram bar. So those are the different options available to you. Now let's have a little look and like a little think about what you can actually do with an easy curl bar. So the most obvious sort of thing you can do with an easy curl bar is curls, I suppose. But remembering that you do have the two different options there. If you have the sort of the kind of easy curl bar that I have, you've got the wider grip and you've got the narrower grip, and they will sort of, it will help you sort of target different parts of maybe your bicep, maybe your forearm or something like that as well. But you can do other exercises as well. To be honest with you, I think I prefer the wider grip. That for me is a bit more comfortable. But if I'm using the easy curl bar, sometimes I'll alternate between sets, or 1 week I'll do the wide for 3 sets, and the next week I'll do the narrow for 3 sets. Can you do any other exercises with the easy curl bar? Well, there are some you can do. I think you can also do some sort of forearm specific work. So like a reverse curl is quite good. I actually prefer a reverse curl with the easy bar than to doing it with a straight bar. I think that it's good to have that different hand sort of positioning on the bar. It feels better for me. I'm not quite sure. Some people might prefer it with the straight bar. Some people might prefer just to go with dumbbells instead. You can also do rows. It's a slightly narrower. It forces you into a slightly narrower sort of grip with the rows. So maybe that hits a different part of the back possibly. I quite like it for the sort of Yates row, and that's where you've sort of got like a reverse grip on there, and you're sort of pulling it in towards yourself from there. I think that's sort of my favourite sort of row with the easy bar. Not that I row very often with the easy bar, but and then here I'm going to show you in a moment probably my favourite non-curl exercise with the bar, with the easy curl bar, and that is the sort of skull crusher type thing here, or tricep extension, or whatever it is. Basically it's a tricep thing there, and I just think that works so much better than the straight bar on that one. I can feel it, and it doesn't really. The straight bar sort of taxes me a little bit on the the tendon, inside the elbow. But this one, I feel like it doesn't really quite, doesn't do the same thing. It's a more comfortable lift for me with that. Having said that, my favorite version of that particular exercise is to use, I don't know what it's called, but I call it a tricep bar, where it's, you're sort of locked into it like that, and you are doing, if you were to do a curl with it, it would be like a hammer curl. You have that overhead, and you're sort of doing the extension with that. I think that's preferable to the exercise I just showed you. Those are pretty much. I can't think of any other exercises you can do with the easy curl bar, or you could probably do other exercises with it, but I don't see any reason to do so. For instance, you could do a deadlift with it, but I really think that you'd be better off doing a deadlift with a straight bar. As you can see, it's a very narrow section of exercises that, it sort of helps you with. And is it better than doing, is it better than doing like dumbbell curls? I don't think it's better at all. I actually prefer dumbbell curls to this a lot. However, it is easier to load, and it's easier to set up, and it's easier to, maybe do a superset of dumbbell curls and tricep, extensions or skull crushers, whatever they are. And as you can see, I was doing those outside, and I quite like that ability to do that. Maybe because I'm not really sort of, bodybuilding is not my big thing. I prefer, an emphasis on strength, though I do some exercises, as you can see, like curls and skull crushes and stuff like that, which really are sort of, I guess, bodybuilding exercises. So I do that, but I do that sort of at the end of at the end of the day, basically. If I've got a list of things that I'm doing, of exercises that I'm doing, that's probably going to be at the bottom of them because it's just not my priority. Particularly in summer, you may change your mind. I may change my mind and be thinking, well, it's t-shirt weather. I want to build up a little bit the biceps, the triceps, and stuff like that. But if you are not 100% focused on aesthetics and looking good and stuff like that, I don't really see a massive need to have an easy curl bar. Having said that, as I showed you, they're not too expensive if you go for the kind of option that I have, and that's, a sort of cheap, no-name, spin lock type one. You're probably looking at £25, £30. Maybe if you want to go for second hand, you may find something cheaper. I don't know. For me, I wouldn't bother. I would just go straight for the Amazon or eBay or something like that because, delivered to your door, less messing around. But anyway. So in conclusion, do you actually need an easy curl bar in your home gym? I'm going to say that unless, you're 100% focused on, aesthetics and looking good and stuff like that, I would say probably not. You probably don't need it. It's not that important. If I were to make a tier list of specialty bars, which I may do one day, I think it would probably be somewhere towards the bottom, which is ironic because it's the first specialty bar that I bought. But it doesn't have that many uses. And when you're trying to build a home gym on a budget, I think that, things that have multiple uses are really gold. And those are the things that you should go for. Having said that, if you do like to exercise outside, I think it makes it a lot easier than having like dumbbells of various weights and setting all that stuff up. It can be a bit of a hassle. I think it can cut a few corners. If you've got an extra 20, 25 pounds lying around and you think, I'd quite like to do a few curls outside, whatever, then go for it. I really wouldn't spend a lot on it. I really wouldn't bother with a rackable one because, if you're, this is it's a very UK home gym kind of tip this, but a rackable bar, a rackable easy curl bar, that's going to be like around 7 foot or whatever, it's going to take up so much space in your home gym, unless you're the kind of person that has a big sort of massive 2-car garage that you're happy to fill up with loads of bars and you've got like a wall that you can dedicate to putting specialty bars on. Why bother? Get a smaller one, 4 or 5 foot, whatever. If you can't rack it, never mind. Sometimes I don't rack it. I'll put it on a couple of garden chairs or something like that, where it won't slip off. Or just pick it up off the ground each time. It's an extra bit of exercise for you, I suppose. So anyway, I wonder if you agree with my conclusions. You might be a massive fan of the easy bar and be saying, what is all this sacrilege? Please, if you have that kind of idea, then let me know your thoughts and your arguments for that in the comments below. I'd love to hear those. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me grow the channel. And please do check out our website. That's ukhomegym.com. And I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.